This is Big Apple Sports with Kyle Basso.
The Yankees are back on top. The New York Red Sox are the
Here we go. Hey, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Dun-dun-dun. Welcome back to a big episode of Big Apple Sports. It is our return episode. It is our comeback episode. I missed you guys so much. It's been a while. We were on a long hiatus, and I really appreciate all our loyal fans waiting through it. And now we're back, and so much has happened since I last been on with you. We were around the college playoffs during the last episode. Michigan ended up winning the college championship. We had UConn win back-to-back March Madnesses in the men's basketball championship. We had the Chiefs win yet another Super Bowl. And now their best receiver is going to jail after getting into a high-speed car crash. Oh, boy. But, Patrick Mahomes, so special. Give him credit for pulling out another win once again. And, of course, now we have the start of baseball season. Let's go. And that's going to be the main focus of discussion to start things off. We're going to talk about two main things today. We're going to talk about how awesome our Yankees are, this being Big Apple Sports. Our team right here in the Big Apple is killing it. And we have the biggest UFC you'll see in years tonight, UFC 300, monumental milestone event, considered the best card in the history of the promotion, headlined by Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira, reigning from Danbury, Connecticut, as the reigning champion. So we got a lot of good stuff going on. The Knicks are about to fight for a 2 seed. Magical special season for the Knicks, waiting for this kind of season for a long time. Battling injuries and all the adversity they've gone through, putting themselves in this position, pretty damn cool. But let's go back to the Yanks. First, let's give themselves a round of applause. We couldn't have asked for a better start to the season, baby. Sweeping Houston, winning every series so far. 11-3 record. Just won today in the first game of the doubleheader at the time of this recording. And now this recording is taking place in between the two games. So, hey, I get to watch some baseball, talk to y'all, then watch some more baseball. What's better than that? But let's break down what's so good about these Yankees. The Bronx Bombers, baby. They're back. The Yankees are the Yankees again. All right? Last couple years, you see them just chasing home run. Ooh, analytics. And we're just going to swing for the fences because that's what analytics say. So let's strike out 1,000,000 times, hit 200, and just hope we hit home runs. No, it doesn't work. We found out it doesn't work. And we have changed our ways for the better. That is not the case anymore. We are going to the opposite field. We are hitting singles. We are hitting the for contact. And that has made the Yankees once again a fun team to watch. It is led by all-star, superstar, phenom, future Hall of Famer. Love this guy. Who doesn't? His name is Juan Soto. He's so special. He's been doing everything we thought he would do and more. Still hitting well over 300. Anthony Volpe is tearing the cover off the ball. Stanton's gotten hot. There's so much to like right now about this team, and it all starts with the offense. Even the pitching has surprisingly held up very well, even though we've been very concerned about the pitching with several unproven guys in there. Garrett Cole's out, but the pitching has held up. The bullpen's very injured, and it's not nearly as deep as it once was, but the bullpen's held up very well too. Seems like the Yankees always find these good bullpen pitchers out of nowhere that you don't expect are good, and they're good. So let's start with the offense. We're going to break down one hitter at a time in the order of, like, this was the lineup. So leading off right now, we've got Anthony Volpe. Volpe is hitting 340. I like to repeat, 340. He leads the American League. Every single player in the American League in WAR. He's hitting 340, 2 homers, 6 ribbies, 16 for 47. He's slugging 532 with an OPS of 968. He changed his swing for the better. This is what we've been waiting for this guy. Like, let's go. He's adjusted. He's developed. Last year he was pull happy. He was chasing for the home run like the whole team was doing. But now he's found his stroke, and I really hope it continues for our man, our shortstop of the future and the present, Anthony Volpe. So then you've got, of course, Soto. He's still right now 333, 2 homers and 12 ribbies already. His OBP is 448. He's getting on base a million times. He already has 12 walks. This is what he does. He's got a great eye. He always finds his way on base, and he tears the cover off the ball. There's nothing more I can really say about Juan Soto. He's the full package. Just wait till he start hitting those balls to right field in Yankee Stadium. But don't force it. Do not force it. That's the key. They will go naturally if you don't force it. Here's an interesting one. Batting third, the center fielder this year, concerning having him out in center all the time. He's going to get hurt. Hopefully not. Aaron Judge. Judge has yet to find it so far. He's hitting 200. But before you all say Judge is doing trash, hear me out on this, all right? His on-base percentage is 369. All right? His OPS is 769. All right? That's not bad. His on base being close to 400. He's already walked 14 times. That's more walks than Soto's had. If you're getting on base, you're still contributing to your team. The analytics show that Judge he's not hitting, but he's not been a liability. He had 2 nice hits today against the Guardians. Maybe he's finding it. Now, the number 4 hitter would be Mr. Giancarlo Stanton. I don't know why they rested him today. We just had 2 days off. But Stanton has gotten red hot after a slow start. He leads the team with 4 homers. He's got 8 ribbies. Average up to 256. OPS at 894, and he's slugging 605. Big G's hot streak, where he's hit over 400 the last several games, is doing wonders. You can tell he's locked in at the plate right now. I think people need to fill out a Giancarlo Stanton apology form. You can find it on X. The disrespect has been too much. This guy has had a bad year last year, admittedly, but so did lots of people on the team. He has been one of the better hitters in the game for a while. Put some respect on his name, please. Let's go, Big G. I'm not saying he doesn't have his problems. He strikes out way too much. He's frustrating, very frustrating at times. But when he's hot, oh boy, he's hot. And remember this, he's also a playoff performer too. You guys got to remember what he did in the playoffs. When we had a bad playoffs a couple years ago, but he raked. So, batting 5th. I think that would usually right now be Gleyber Torres. Glaber's the first guy here that I really don't have much of a defense for. Ironic that I used the word defense because he's awful at defense. But I can't defend what he's done right. Does not look like last year so far. Of course it's early, but he has mightily struggled. No homers, just 2 RBIs, batting 196, has not done anything. Gleyber, we need you. We need the whole team. We can't get complacent that our offense looks good because we got a couple hot hitters. No, we need the whole team to step up. So it's not Gleyber Day yet, but he's still got a chance to find it this early. All right, batting 6th, Anthony Rizzo. We gotta love Rizzy. He's always a consistent, I'm almost say even a contact first hitter with good power. He's showing that he's still capable of that this year, batting 269. So he shortens his swing. He gets on. OPS 732, pretty good on base percentage too. Rizzo's been solid. He's doing what you want him to do. Keep it up. Maybe the power will start going up too. Next, you got Verdugo. He does a lot of nice things. He's got a great arm in the outfield, good defender, good eye at the plate. Struggled earlier. He's really clutch here. He's had some clutch at bats. He struggled earlier, but he's starting to find it. He's up to 229 with a 738 OPS. 2 homers, 5 ribbies. Let's go Doogie. Not bad, not bad. Now let's talk some Oswaldo. How about that? Oswaldo has been one of the most exciting stories for the Yankees this year. He's batting .333. His OPS is over 1,000. He's got 3 homers and 10 ribbies. If you were to say who's the surprise player, who's the breakout player for the Yankees this year, look no further than my man Oswaldo. Keep it up. At catcher, we got a split, of course, between Trevino and Wells. Neither one of them have been hitting so far. Trevino is a fantastic defender who made an incredible frame to get a call to help us win today. So it's really interesting how the playing time gets. Right now, it's been split up like pretty much literally completely even between them. And I think we're just going to continue to see a 50-50 split. But I want to see. Austin Wells has so much more potential at the plate than Jose does. So I want Austin to get hot at the plate and start to seize some of that playing time. I want one of them to just seize more of the time. Maybe Wells can get hot and get like up instead of 50%, maybe 60% of the time. That's all I'm asking. Just seize the at-bats. Earn them. So, there's your lineup. We got John Birdie that's been great at defense, and hopefully he'll find it at the plate. I'd rather see Oswaldo in there than Birdie right now at third. And then I don't know how they're going to factor in DJ when he gets back. That's interesting. But yeah, great offense. Like pretty much every name I named there is a big name. Once you add the breakout Oswaldo story, it just gets so much better. So there's just so much to be excited about right now. Again, 11-3. Keep it up. I really think we got to start thinking number 28. This has gone from just being like hopes and dreams in the offseason to actually legit excitement. I know it's early. But it can't hurt to dream, right? And it's time for High Miles. It's time for Yankee fans to start dreaming. Guys, this is the year. This is the year here in the Big Apple. And we'll be covering it for you right here at Big Apple Sports. It's been a fun show. Coming up next, we are going to get into UFC 300. Okay, this Saturday, meaning tonight, tonight with the main card starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, early prelims at 6 p.m., we've got UFC 300 with the main event, Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. But this is not about just Pereira versus Hill. If this is about the event, this is a milestone, being the 300th UFC. This is a historic milestone event with the best card in UFC history, folks. And it's so much more about, like I've heard people like my friend Jack say, oh, the title fights are ruining it. It's not a good card. This is like the Knicks of mixed martial arts, all right? The Knicks are so much more about depth than guys at the top. So take that comparison and put it on this. This UFC card is so much more about depth. If you look at the cover picture, if you literally look at the cover poster for UFC 300, it's not even it doesn't show Pereira or Hill's picture, and it doesn't even say Pereira versus Hill on it. It's just a big sign that says UFC 300. So this is not about the title fights. This is about just an overall all-star card throughout, the depth of the card. I really think if you wanted to, Dana White could rename this the UFC All-Star Game or All-Star Card. Because that's really what it is. It's just superstars throughout. And that's what it's about. It's not about one fight or two fights. It's about all the fights put together. So I'm gonna give you my favorite fights of the night. I'm gonna give you my picks for all the fights. So starting with the main event, Pereira and Hill are two very incredible fighters. Pereira is reigning champion. Jamal Hill was champion, but only lost it because he got injured. All right. So I think it's gonna be good. I really think Pereira has a good shot. Both fighters are good at strikers. Both are pretty solid on the ground, especially Pereira on the ground. But I really think we should get some good volume, some good action in this fight. I'm gonna give you a little bit of an upset. I'm gonna pick Jamal Hill to come up with the victory. I think he's got a lot left in the tank that we haven't seen because of the injury. Pereira's a pretty solid fighter, but I don't know, somewhat. I don't want to diss him because he's my guy. He's from Danbury. But I don't know. I like Hill in this one. I think Pereira. I don't want to diss him. I don't want to say it. He might be a little underrated. I mean, he had the epic win over Izzy. He did beat Blachowicz and he did beat Proaska. But he also lost to Izzy, and that is his only significant loss. So hey, give him credit. He's got a pretty good record, but he definitely seems like he's a guy that can be beat. Jamal Hill's got way more size, and I think this is the matchup that could get him. That's why I'm going with an upset here. Size advantage speaks a lot. So I take back the underrated part. Pereira, once I look at it, clearly has a legendary track record of the guys he's beaten. Incredible track record, incredible resume. But I just don't really think he's had this kind of matchup, just playing this big and tall of a guy. And I think it's going to get him. So the co-main event, we have the Battle of China. That's why people are excited about this, even though maybe it's not the best, one of the better fights on the card. But it is a title fight between two Chinese ladies, Zhang Weili versus Yan Jinan. And this Yan Jinan does look solid. She's 17-3 in MMA. She wins a lot. She's only had a couple losses in the UFC. But of course, this one, we got to go with Zhang. Zhang is one of the all-time legends in the UFC. And I hope it's a good fight. I'm not sure if it will be, but it's just hard to really bet against a legend. So, next is the fight that I'm most looking forward to out of any fight in the card. For the BMF belt, I don't want to say what BMF stands for, just out of professionalism, but you can look it up or you can ask Dana White. It is still officially known. I love how they just make this a thing. It's officially known as the BMF belt. And it will be fought between Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. Guys, this is so gas, okay? This is just two high-volume strikers, two high-volume boxers squaring off in what should be an absolute show. I am telling you, this fight is not going a full 3 rounds. Someone is getting knocked out. These guys just are too damaging. They throw too many. And you just got the incredible contrast, the matter that Holloway is all volume. Holloway will just pick you apart and throw punch after punch after punch. He's got such great stamina, he'll wear you out. Meanwhile, Gaethje is a little more calculated. He's a little more patient. But what's the advantage of Gaethje? Damage. Once Gaethje throws and picks his moment, like the counterpunch, he can do so much damage. It's going to be an incredible fight. I don't even know who to pick. I think Holloway's a slight favorite. But just due to being a little more technical and more damaging, I like Justin Gaethje I'm going to go with a 3rd round knockout for Justin Gaethje. The absolute stacked fight with all these great fighters continues. The next fight is Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tascarin. And this Tascarin guy, big time prospect. He's 21-3 career in MMA. He's really been coming up, getting a lot of hype, lots of knockouts. This guy is a big time fighter, let me tell you. And that's why he comes in as a pretty heavy favorite. This is just a great fight. This is just a great fight. Because Charles Oliveira, I'd say, is one of the more legendary fighters, all-star fighters in the UFC right now. But Tuscarin just comes in as a big favorite because he's just such a hyped-up guy right now with all his knockouts. So even though people like Tuscarin here, Charles Oliveira has just done too much. I've seen with my own eyes all these epic wins that Charles Oliveira always gets. Give me an upset with Oliveira taking home a decision victory in that one. All right, so back to the first fight of the main card. This is the fight that'll start things off in the pay-per-view. You've got Cody Brundage against Bo Nickel. I can tell you what I know about this. Bo Nickel has gotten so much hype, undefeated, 5-0. I've watched him fight myself a couple times, and he deserves to be one of the most hyped prospects in the UFC right now. The guy is lethal. He can wrestle. He can punch. And Cody Brundage looks like another solid fighter here. Record of 10-5 in MMA. So I definitely like Bo Nickel in this fight. But clearly, if I don't know too much about Brundage, it's not a overwhelming record. But he's in the spot for a reason. Dana is putting him on pay-per-view for a reason. So people must really like Brundage as well, even though, of course, with Bo Nickel's resume, he is coming in at a massive betting favorite at minus 2,100. So I really wouldn't bet against Bo Nickel in this fight. I'd say Bo Nickel wins easily. It's going to be the biggest blowout of the main card. It's going to be a bigger blowout than the Battle of China. Okay. Now, the great thing about this card, folks, is the prelims is like almost as good as the main card. It's almost like there's two main cards. You feel me? So, Prohaska versus Rakic. Two great fighters. It's the featured prelim of the night. So good. I like Prohaska. I've seen him do some incredible things out there. He most recently lost to Alex Pereira in Madison Square Garden last November. But he beat Glover. He beat Dominic Reyes. And has an incredible record in the MMA of 29-4. I've seen in that fight against Glover. I remember watching. It was incredible. So I'm really excited to watch this one. It seems like going to be a high volume, high striking fight between two really big dudes, and it's going to be one of the most exciting fights of the night. And I think Prohaska is going to get the win there. And another really good one, we've got Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. Kattar never won a title. Always a very solid contender, though. Got a great record. And always seems to be right in the thick of things. And Aljamain Sterling, former bantamweight champion, moving up to featherweight. And we're going to see how he handles this new weight class. That's kind of the intrigue here. The Aljamain Sterling, of course, is an incredible talent. But he's moving up. And you never know how someone will do when they move up. I do think talent prevails at the end of the day. So give me Sterling by decision. I am really excited for this next one, folks. Don't sleep on this next fight here between these two very talented ladies. In the women's bantamweight division, you've got Kayla Harrison, a highly well-known, touted fighter, making her UFC debut. She's won 2 gold medals in judo, whatever the hell judo is. And she has a dominant MMA record in the PFL. So because of that, she's got a lot of hype and is a big favorite going into this fight against an absolute legend in Holly Holm. No one will ever forget her knockout over Ronda Rousey. And she's had a very good career. Of course, she's former champ. And she's put together a very good career. People are saying she's older now. She's past her prime. But in her last 5 fights, folks, she had more wins than she's had losses. I understand she's 42 years old and has a very tough opponent, which is why people don't like her. So I still don't want people to sleep on what she can do. She is still a legend. She is still Holly Holm. I like an upset here. I know y'all think I'm crazy. I'm going Holly. I am going Holly. The first fight of the prelims is going to be Diego Lopez versus Sadiq Youssef. It's an interesting match. Seems pretty evenly matched. This is maybe the one of the fights in the card between some lesser known guys, but they definitely seem like prospects and future contenders. I am gonna go this with the slight favorite, Diego Lopez. This card is so stacked that even the early preliminary card is stacked. So we look at the early preliminary card. We've got Jalen Turner, who's a highly touted up and coming contender. Very excited. I've seen him fight. I'm very excited about him. He's going up against Renato Macchio, who I'm not as familiar with, but he's got a great record of 18-5, folks. I'd like to repeat that, please. 18-5. Very, very good. And honestly, Turner looks too exciting of late. I think recent results bear more weight. So I like Turner. We got one more ladies fight, and definitely adds more to the stacked nature of the event. Former champion Jessica Andrade, very well known, being former champ, but of course she's declined a lot lately, losing 3 of her last 4. It's still very intriguing to see what she can still do going up against Marina Rodriguez. Because of Andrade's decline, it's kind of interesting. I think it's going to be very evenly matched. But again, I think talent prevails. I'm going to go with Jessica. She's still got a little left in the tank. So now we go to the old timers fight, I like to call this. But, old timer like in a good way. You've got UFC lightweight legend who has the lightweight UFC record for most fights, most wins in the UFC lightweight division. This guy is a legend in the sport. He's fought like a gazillion times. He's fought 54 times in the MMA with a record of 37-17. You just gotta love this guy's work ethic. The way this guy always just goes back out there. He's like Donald Cerrone. He's like an actual good version of Cowboy Cerrone. And he's going up against the Mean Machine, Bobby Green. I always love Bobby. Bobby has been a fun fighter for me to watch. He did have a tough loss against Turner in just last December, but he beat the declining Tony Ferguson last year, and he usually is in some pretty fun fights. And he's taken on a lot of solid opponents, so you gotta love Bobby. You gotta love Miller, too. These are two likable guys squaring off here, and I'm going with Bobby in this one. The very first, you know the card is stacked when you look at the very first fight of the night, and it's so stacked. Like, I did this backwards and starting with the main event just to show you that even when you go back to the beginning, the first fight of the night could be a main event in another UFC pay-per-view card. That's how good this is. Okay? The very first fight, I'm sorry, it's just crazy. You've got Devison Figueiredo, former flyweight champion, okay, going up against Cody Garbrandt, who's been a contender at bantamweight for a very good fighter for a long time. Yeah, I think it's going to be another really good one with a lot of grappling, a lot of fast-paced striking. And to conclude my picks, I like Figueiredo. I really think this matchup better suits his style. So that's it, folks. It's UFC 300. I hope you all enjoy it. I hope everyone can get together, maybe have some wings, and maybe go out or watch it at home, whatever suits for you. Maybe knock down a beer or two and just enjoy it. It's going to be a big event, and these milestone UFC events only come along like once every 7 or so years. It's special, and I appreciate Dana White just putting such a fantastic card together. It's gonna be fun, and I hope you all enjoy it. This is gonna conclude today's episode of Afternoon Vibes. Afternoon Vibes. I'm thinking of my radio show. It's gonna conclude this episode of Big Apple Sports. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night.